The Chateau Challenge. Remy was a very rich man. He lived in a huge, beautiful house that everyone called a chateau. He had great wealth and many expensive things, but he was often lonely in his big rooms. He spent his days looking at his gardens and walking through his long hallways. His neighbor was a man named Arthur. Arthur lived in a small, simple house next door. One sunny Saturday, Arthur decided to mow his lawn. When he finished, he left a big pile of cut grass near the fence. It was a messy heap that smelled like summer. The wind blew, and the heap of grass fell over the fence and onto Remy's garden. Remy was very angry because the grass covered his prize-winning beetroot. Arthur told him they were just common sugar beet, but Remy did not agree. They stood by the fence and argued for a long time. Arthur wanted to retaliate because Remy was being rude. He planned a silly stunt to bother his neighbor. In the middle of the night, Arthur climbed a ladder and placed a giant, bright pink plastic flamingo on the roof of Remy's expensive house. The next day, they both watched a popular TV show called Wife Swap. Since they lived alone, they had a strange idea. They decided to move into each other's houses for 1 week. They wanted to see if the other person really had an easier life. Remy began to pack for his stay at the small house. He put his best silk clothes into a small cabin suitcase. He also packed some soft cleaning cloths to keep his glasses clean. He felt very nervous as he walked away from his big home. Arthur arrived at the chateau and tried to enter. However, he found that the front door was closed and locked tight. He had to walk all the way to the back of the house. Before he went inside, he decided to discard his dirty garden boots on the porch. Once inside, Arthur felt very uncomfortable. The rooms were too big and cold. He accidentally tripped over a heavy rug and broke a small statue. He got so angry that he called his lawyer. He wanted to start a lawsuit. "I will sue Remy for having such a dangerous house," Arthur shouted into the phone. Many hours elapsed as the sun began to set. Meanwhile, Remy was at the small house. He sat on a bench outside and waited for the local shuttle bus to take him to the grocery store. He realized that the air was fresher here and the world felt much quieter. At the end of the week, the two men met in the garden. They decided they did not want a lawsuit after all. They sat at a small table and put their cups of tea on a coaster. Arthur began to shuffle a deck of cards. They smiled and realized that being neighbors was better than being enemies.